Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of GrillCave GrillCave Banter. We're going to talk shit, and this is the Grill Cave. So, this is where we're going to film this thing. We're here to talk barbecue, brews, and good times. So, grab a drink, sit down, cheers, let's talk. So, super short episode right now because I just want to get into the feel of this thing. But basically, each week I'm going to try and do this, hopefully every Friday. We're going to talk all things barbecue, pits, fires, food, cooking, try and talk to you guys, interact through the socials. We'll try and go back and forth. Obviously, we're going to talk brews as well. So we're going to talk home brew, craft brew, what are the best beers out there at the moment, what do you guys like? Right now, I'm just drinking James Squire 150 Lashes. I don't know if you still class these guys as a craft beer because they are so widely available and so popular and mass produced. But hey, they still, they still taste like they put that effort into it that a craft beer gets, that love and the higher alcohol content and the craft beer price tag. So, man, 150 Lashes, great pale ale, goes down with any barbecue food or any other time, of course. Always a good one to go back to. In terms of what I have been cooking recently, I've just been doing not a lot, colder weather, trying to find a way to set up my pit so it doesn't get wind and things in. Tends to work better for me using the pellet grill, so the Traeger during the colder seasons, just less screwing around with fire regulation, with wind oxygen to the fire and getting up in cold nights and feeding the fire. So, same reason I tend to stay away from long overnight cooks, which is why last week I got me brisket out of the way because I don't think I'll be doing too many of those throughout the winter. You probably saw the post. I did this cool thing that I called the Texas brisket platter, which it's just what you normally get at a barbecue truck vendor. You smith sort of potato chips and your coleslaw, and then you smoked brisket. I call it Texas platter because in Texas everything's bigger, and it was a Texas style 50-50 salt pepper ratio brisket, and it was a big platter, and it was a lot of food. I mean, you're going to cook that long, you want to make sure you're drinking a lot and you're eating a lot of the food that you cook. The car's making noise. So that came out awesome. That was divine, and I did that with Ironwood, Aussie Ironwood, and it comes out alright. Ironbark, sorry. So, yeah, no. Always keen to hear what you guys are cooking, so leave a comment and tell me what you've been cooking. I want to try and put this thing everywhere I can. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. I'll even try and convert to audio so I can have it up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, that sort of thing. Because as I start to do a little bit less barbecuing through the colder times, I'll still keep it up. It's just harder to keep consistent. Grilling something every weekend or smoking something long when the weather is so messy. So I tend to want to find another avenue to stay barbecuing, and this podcast is sort of my way of going at that. So as I stay consistent with this thing and as it grows, I want to try and get people from the low and slow Aussie barbecue community, and I really want to as well as trying to communicate with other pit masters and guys that we see over in the States and around the world. It's always cool to hear from them, but growing this thing here in Australia, I've been barbecuing American low and slow style for 5 years maybe. Not that long, but long enough that it's like you can see the growth just in the past couple of years as compared to when I started doing this here. So I want to spread the word Australia-wide, and try and talk to as many of these other guys like myself who are trying to just share their love of barbecue. People, guys and girls that are just putting themselves out there, posting their cooks, sharing it, getting tips from one another. Those sort of people, I want to try and have them on as guests and remotely talk to them and share ideas and just talk shit and banter. I haven't done any homebrews in a few months, but I'm going to pick that up again through the winter time. So we're going to try a lot of different things, get really creative with that, with the flavours and the types of brews and the alcohol contents. Haven't done really a pale ale yet. Through summer I was sticking with drafts and lagers, so keen to try that and get something close to this. How good is James Squire, by the way? It could be a furphy, you know, the legend of how it came about and Australia's first brewer, but who cares? It's an awesome tale, man. So like I said, bear with me because I don't know what this is going to evolve into, what it's going to turn into, but it's a place for me to air out and talk to you guys and get involved in the community, and talk about and share what I love doing, which is barbecue low and slow style. And hot and fast grilling, can't forget charcoal grilling. If you guys, the biggest sharing community of barbecue stuff in the Down Under is the Australasian BBQ Alliance Facebook page. You put a question up, no matter how random or out there it may seem, and you post it in that group, within 10 seconds you got like a buttload of people who comment back with an idea. The only problem, the caveat with that is you just get shut down and shit on constantly. Like, I think but people, there's helpful people, and then there's 50% of, let's say 40% of those helpful people, really helpful, and then there's 40% of people who just shit on you and make bad comments, and then there's a 20% of people left who comment on the people who are shit talking and agreeing to the point that it's like, why do you... Everyone here is just a negative environment, but it's not. They're super helpful, most of them, and regardless whether you get some shit stir, I mean, it's all part of the fun and the banter, right? Exactly what banter is. But you're also going to get the answer you're looking for on that page. So you got questions and you want to communicate back and forth in an open forum with other Australian low and slowers, the Australasian BBQ Alliance Facebook page. No affiliation, it's just your barbecuing American style in Australia. Get on it. So anyway, that's going to be it for this little intro episode. Catch you guys again next week. What I plan to do for the first proper episode is just go through my finding, my introduction into low and slow barbecue and how I got into this and how it became everything to me. So I'll put that episode up next week for you guys, and until then, to barbecue, brews and good times. Cheers.